Good morning, good afternoon, good evening across the country, around the world. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Like I said, the first episode there was kind of an intro to the mods and whatnot I use. And now we're going to jump right into a new career mode game. Start new, career. My favorite fictional characters. Sadly, he doesn't mean anything anymore. If you know who he is, kudos to you. I think I'm going to go with NASA this time. Yeah, that's fun. Career, difficulty, I tweak, let's see, I really don't tweak much. When I played last time, for myself, I upgraded, oh, there it is, science rewards, I bumped up to 200%, but I don't think it actually did anything, because what am I trying to say? Oh, because of D-Magic, some of the other extra, what are they called? Some of the extra experiments, rebalance things. 25,000. Yep. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave it as, actually we'll set it to easy. There we go. Ooh, oh, maybe that's why. Normal? Easy. Normal? You know what? No, I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna play it as easy because that just makes life easier. But yes, accept. Horn and start. Yes, I have it saved somewhere else. Overwrite and start a new game. Here we go. So, for those of you new to Kerbal Space Program, welcome to the Space Center. Get a greeting from Gene Kerman. All the Kerbals are named Kerman. That's everybody's last name. I guess they're all related. Welcome. Right click, etc., etc. So you're going to have the runway. Now, I don't know why it does this. See these little outlines here? That's a glitch, I think, in the what I use for clouds. Normally in the game, you don't see clouds like this. I don't think. I think that's the mod I use, the Eve. It does weird things with the ground sometimes, and you'll get, at nighttime, you'll get cities. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Kerbal Space Center. Got the runway over here, space plane hangar, astronaut center, administration building, says it all down here. Science, research and development, science center. BAB, the vehicle assembly building, the tracking station, the launch pad, and this here is the crawler way. It won't show anything here, but later on you'll see it helps to know that there is another area here. Each of these zones is what we call a biome, and you can collect specific data from each and earn data points. Oh yeah, and this over here is mission control. Mission control? Yes, mission control. I had to read it, sorry. This, apparently a lot of people missed it. Like, if you start the map and you don't realize this little building is here, you're kind of missing out. That's a big deal. This is where you get contracts. So this is where you get contracts, and this is where you get your money and your science. Your Kerbal bucks? Space bucks? I'm not sure. Money, science, and reputation points. Yay. So, gather scientific data from Kerbin. Kerbin to achieve this goal. From Kerbin. Means I can do something from the pad. Easy. And launch our first vessel. Launch pad or runway. We're going to do that as well. Check. So we're maxed out at 2 contracts. Boop. You can upgrade the center by right-clicking on it. You can upgrade it, and it'll let you get 7. And you can do flight planning. Well, that'll come a little bit later. For now, we're just going to do something really simple. Our 2 contracts are to gather scientific data from Kerbin, our planet, and to launch our first ship. So we'll actually do 2 quick missions with that. That might be it for this episode. Hello, Werner von Kerman. Scientist. Got it. So we'll start with a Mark 1 command pod. We're not even going to put anything on it, honestly. We're just going to go down to science. Attach a mystery goo container. Boop, right on the side there. Oh, this is scrolling up and down, which is kind of, I find, rather counterintuitive. To scroll in and out, you have to hold Shift key and scroll in and out, which I find a little annoying. Oh, you'll see this over here. This is MechJeb. This is our Delta V stats. You get a few things here initially. We have to unlock more aspects of MechJeb as we go, but this will give you Delta V. If you attach something down here, like I think all we have is a solid rocket booster. Yeah, the flea. it'll tell you how much LTV you have. We'll see that in the next one. Let's rename this guy Test 1, just because. And who do we have in the pilot seat? Of course, Jebediah Kerman. He's kind of the standard top guy. He's our pilot. Also have Valentina. Bob is a scientist, and Bill is an engineer. I'll go through and create a few more with custom Kerbals. I like to use my more favorite fictional character names. Down here, of course, you'll see we have MechJeb controls for that as well. Kerbal alarm clock, I got nothing there. Final Frontier, nobody's won anything yet. This will talk about our ship. Missing parachute, unused motor propellant. Oh yeah, I could get rid of that. Not critical. This is our contracts. This will be messages, and this will reset. This will clear everything. But we got what we want to do our first little mission, so we're going to launch real quick. Take us out to the pad. And you could combine, but I think it's easier to just sit here. So we got our guy on our little pad. Oh, that looks like a horrible little pad. I haven't played it at this early stage in a while. Here we have this little icon here is Science Alert, like I talked about before. Tells you what you got. So I can do a crew report for 3 science. We'll keep that. And see, I think it's 3 science whether this bumps it up to 200% or not. Whether you go easy mode or not, because of some of the scientific experiments we'll get later. It rebalances all of these. So we will keep that data. A mystery goo observations. That opens that little container there. Goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. You keep that data. And then we can do an EVA report. So right now, Jebediah is out there. And because he's kind of sort of hanging on the side of it, it thinks it's flying. This is the most precarious situation. See, flying over Kerbin's shores. So we can keep that data. Press B to board again. And now we can EVA report. Press space to let go. We can do an EVA report from the ground. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? From the launch pad. Keep the data. And then we can grab and board. So now we've done all that we can experiment-wise, and this will satisfy, and it has satisfied our first contract. Oh no, not yet actually. We have to return with it. Perform the EVA test at home. Great. So we got a little money, a little science, and that wasn't even a contract. So, done all we can for now. Recover the vessel. That'll recover everything there. It'll give us all our science. It'll give Jebediah some Final Frontier mission badges, tabs, ribbons, mission ribbons. Researching 10 or more science points. First EVA surface. Any altitude record. Okay, because it was the first of any. So we got we got 25 science, total of 30. We got the parts back at 100% value because, hey, they never left. And Jebediah gained 1 experience point. Yay, done. So you can look up here, contract complete. We covered our first crew. One of our first experiments at home. Sweet. So, gain some stuff, gain some science. And now, of course, what do we do? Spend it. Let's see, what do we got? Engineering, which gives us the magnetometer, the Science Junior, a communotron, and a decoupler, which is nice. And, what is this? Basic rocketry. So, the stock parts of the 3 in the middle here, that's the Reliant liquid fuel engine, the Hammer, a slightly larger solid fuel booster, and a small fuel tank. The extra ones are the Universal Storage Quad Core, which comes in handy later, and the Mystery Goo Container Universal Storage. Oh, that's... okay. So this you unlock, and you can attach 4 of this type of piece to the side. You'll get more of those as... yes. So like here, Science Junior shows up, and I think more of them will show up later on, like the orbital telescope will be there. The magnetometer should show up somewhere. It's linked into one of these guys. Is that you? No. Nope. Anyway, magnetometers here. Once you unlock a few levels, it will show up as universal storage base style. And these are... oh, these are 5 research? Oh, yeah, take that. And you are 5 as well. Take that. Survivability. I've got some... oh, with the universal storage mod, it comes with a few other extra things. I don't actually use any... oh, what's the phrase? Any... ooh. Yes, I'm going to take better rockets. I don't use any of the survival? Resource mods? oxygen, oxygen, food, electricity, things. I mean, we use electricity, but I don't use any of those mods because, hey, it's kind of nice that the Kerbins will just survive. I think I heard somebody say once that they are plant-based. That's why they're green. Let's actually take a look at who we have. Yeah, that's why they're green apparently, because they what's it called? Words are escaping me. They're plant-based. They do photosynthesis. So as long as they have access to sunlight, they can survive. A little bit cheaty, but not horrible. All right, so we've completed one contract. We still have one more. Now I could go to I could look up contracts here. Great, that one's done. I also have Capcom, which is great because it lets you get to the mission center without mission control, without going into mission control. Kind of helps, and you can access this screen from almost anywhere. So our next two are Escape the Atmosphere and Orbit Kerbin. These aren't going to go away. Ooh. We'll get to those in a minute. Actually, we'll go ahead and accept 5 hours, 4 days. I'm going to go ahead and accept this one. Actually, that'll disappear sooner, but honestly, we'll be doing all of them anyway. I'm going to launch our first vessel first. So, we'll go back into the vehicle assemblage building. And yes, we'll actually keep... Whoa, I forgot. See, the shift. I almost want to reset that key setting. So we got that guy. Now, I actually want to put 2 goo containers just because it'll help with balance. So, symmetry, 2. Now I put 2 on here. Put them down. Put them out in the middle there. Yes, good. And you can see our NASA flag kind of hidden underneath the mystery goo there. It's there. See? Shift and zoom in. It's there. So, we have a command capsule with Jebediah, I think. Yes, Jebediah. We'll go ahead and fill him out and get him to 1 star before we switch over to somebody else. Fuel tanks. So, yeah, let's get a... actually, stand by. We'll get there in a second. So we got a few other engines. That first one unlocked regular, these 2 guys. Then we got swivel. This guy, he doesn't pivot? Gimbal. He doesn't gimbal, that's the phrase. This guy, gimbals. Vectoring range, see? Vectoring range 3.0, so that helps steer with your motor. I guess we can go through these. Command pods. Mark 1 command pod is all we have. This is where we also get probes and larger command pods and different things like that. Fuel tanks, I just got 2 small ones so far. T100 and T200. I got 1, 2, 3 solid rocket boosters. Thumper's pretty big, and then these get smaller as they go. Command and control. I don't have anything in here yet. Haven't gotten to the level where that's a thing. Structural. I have a strut. And I have a stack decoupler. This is actually what I was looking for. Boom. Aerodynamics. I can get a fin. Utility. Here we go. Mark 16 parachute. Drop that guy right on the nose there. That's good. And this is the quad core. We'll get into that a little bit later once we get some bigger things. I do have a few other experiments I could do, but right now I just want to launch this guy into space, I just want to launch him up once and recover him. So to do that, we're just going to slap on a small engine. I'm sorry, the medium-sized fuel tank, and we'll give you the swivel. And this is a small enough ship, nothing's going to happen to him really. Over here you have staging. Let's separate that. Boom. So first stage. Engine's going to fire, going to burn all that fuel down. Then the stack decoupler is going to separate, leaving the command pod, the goo containers, and the parachute on top. Then you got the parachute left on top. Here is mech jebs. I'm going to read that there. There we go. So I'm using liquid fuel instead of just a solid fuel. Solid fuel, once you press go, it goes. You can limit the thrust capacity in here, thrust limiter. Same thing with a solid fuel. But why? With liquid fuel, you can actually adjust the thrust level. This gives you some really good information. In stage 2, which is when this fires off, our thrust weight ratio is 5.49. That means I can do 5.5 Gs, I believe, which is a ridiculous amount of G-force. So we will not be throttled all the way up, or else we'll just go flying up into the sky at a ridiculous rate. And honestly, once you get going so fast, you get to a point where you're just fighting against the air and it's wasting fuel. So no. This is kind of the, I'm not sure, thrust away and SLT. Not sure what that means exactly, but I know these two are very close and they're related with something somehow. Atmospheric delta V, so 830 versus vacuum delta V 984, because we're fighting against atmosphere at sea level. This is registering at sea level right now. As you fly up, you'll see the numbers drop because, yeah, it's spent, but this will actually eventually get closer to this as the air thins out and out and out and out and out. Delta V stats is one of the most useful things MechJeb provides, especially in construction of a ship. Oh, and I should also say, I use, excuse me, MechJeb and Engineer for All. It's a kind of an add-on mod to the stock MechJeb. Otherwise, you would have to get a MechJeb command control pod to make it work. But MechJeb for All unlocks it as long as you have a command pod on there. So we got, Jebediah is flying. Staging looks good. Rocket, engine, decouple pod, goo, and a parachute. I don't think we'll use both goo containers. We'll see what happens. We might land at a different. Oh yeah, we'll try to shoot. Oh, for the water? No, we'll probably shoot for the ground. Anywho, test 1. Test 2. Sorry, I'm not great at coming up with names here. We're gonna save this guy. That way, once you save things, you can. Oh, I did enable stock. Anyway, you can pick up your things that you loaded, like autosave. That's the first one we flew, and then test 1, test 2. So that's this guy here. Ooh, I should clear this out. I don't like seeing all that. Anywho, I saved test 2. We're gonna launch. Excuse me, still getting over a cold here. All right. So don't want surface info, but I will take orbit info. So if you look here, you only have a few things here, whereas when I played before, I had a whole slew of things. So again, like I said, Delta V stats, probably one of the most useful things, useful tools. So I know that I have 5.49 thrust to weight, which is ridiculous. I could launch this guy. If I did it full speed, it'd fly up so fast, it would be ridiculous. So we're going to set it down to about 1/3 of the thrust. And by increments, I'm pressing Control and, I'm sorry, Shift to go up, Control to go throttle down. There we go. T, do we have? Yes, we have some SAS because Jebediah is in there. Not that he's terribly experienced, but he will try to help keep things straight-ish. Yeah, you could enable RCS if there was any, but there's not, so why? And let's launch. Here goes nothing. Yeah, and immediately we get crew report. Shores look inviting as you watch the waves roll into the coast. Cool. And a mystery goo. Wobbles as the craft flies. Alright, so we have 10, well, a little less, or more actually, because we're running at such a low capacity, or low, what's it called? Percentage of thrust? Oh, we're shadowed because we're in clouds, part of the Eve mod. So we're going, and you can see our liquid fuel meter. We're about halfway through, so that's cool. So this little yellow marker here is the prograde marker that shows our current vector, where we are traveling currently. And I just turned this, what's it called? West, just because I knew it would be inland. Typically you want to go east for actual orbital insertion. It has to do with orbital mechanics. Yeah. But I'm pressing the A key to point things east, although fuel is out, and now it wants to kind of do some weird aerodynamic things. Hey look, we're pointing along our negative vector. So let's go ahead and press spacebar to ditch that. So we are traveling at, well, we're still going up. As you can see, our apoapsis will be 6,500 somehow, some odd. So we're about to hit it, and we're traveling back down. So now, let's see. Yes, I can reorient back down again. Or actually here, we can orient along our retrograde vector. That's the negative path. Or that's our path downward, at least. We're picking up speed, but that's okay. We're going to go and hit the parachutes real quick, because we're going slow enough for that. This wasn't that crazy a trip. This was pretty mild. So the parachute's out. It slows us down. Oh, look, you can see the terrain. You can see the city things. Oh, we're at 20 minutes already. All right, good. So, see how the ship is kind of holding itself sideways? That's going to kill that. So, A and D move the ball left and right. W and S move the ball down and up. They're a little bit backwards for my taste. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but it's not bad. Ooh, we pulled about 7 Gs there. So now the parachute has opened. We are landing at a sedate 5.7, 5.8, yeah, under 6 meters per second. We'll be fine. We will be just fine. Jebediah is having a grand old time in there. Let's look inside real quick. Whoop. Not much to see. Just some clouds through his tiny little hole. Anyway, to leave here, you would press C for camera. There are a lot of things in Kerbal that they don't give you great guides, directions, instructions to. That some of the key controls are some of them. Oh, in addition to WASD, you also have Q and E, which rotate. Excuse me. So now we're dropping at a sedate pace. We're going to actually physics accelerate. I know the altitude here is like 150, so we'll drop it at... Oh, we'll drop it now, actually. Maybe we're a little higher than I thought. Boop! And we're down. Nice and safe. And this is why I attach a second mystery goo, because we can get another one from Kerbal's grasslands. You observe the goo. EVA report, and we're going to get one here while we're, quote, flying over Kerbin's grasslands, with the air quotes over flying. Most precarious situation. We're going to board, and that stores that data. You can barely read it here. Stored, added, whatever. So you can press EVA report, and that's the beauty of this. It controls all the things. You EVA, and it'll do it from here. And now we're on the ground again. EVA report. Wasn't entirely necessary, was it? No, I guess it wasn't. Grab, and board, and recover. Alright, so now we see all the science. Cool, 53 for a total of 68. Next, parts. We were pretty close. We got a pretty good recovery amount there. Next. And Jebediah didn't gain anything because he didn't do anything really special. He flew, but he didn't do anything that's worthy of gaining an experience point, sadly. Single mission as a pilot. Oh, these are just from this one. Single mission as pilot. Researching 50 or more. Landing. Speed record. Close and done. Alright, and we can look at our... We got some milestones, we got some money for that, and a little bit of science and some reputation as well. And then we launched our first vessel, so we completed that reward, got our money, science, and a little more reputation. So after this, we'll go on to... Oh my, see, look, oh wow, all these science, all these things just poof, showed up now. We're going to accept escape the atmosphere as well, because... yeah, anywho. That's it for now. We'll work on escaping the atmosphere and orbiting in our next episode or two. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you like, hit subscribe, all those things. I know everybody hates hearing that from us YouTubers. But either way, catch you later.